Hey guys! So taking what we learned yesterday, I'm going to show you guys how to draw and shade an apple using colored pencils. So you'll need your colored pencils, a pencil, and your sketchbook. Okay, this can be on the same page as what we worked on yesterday, just off in the corner, or if you want to use a new page, that's fine too. So this doesn't have to be crazy big or anything. So start with a basic apple shape, like so. You want to keep your pencil marks pretty light, something like this. Okay, cool, apple shape. So, the apple that we're going to draw is going to be red. It's going to have some yellow and some orange. So you will for sure need these three colors, red, orange, yellow. You will need some brown, and you'll also need white. Okay, so let's start with yellow. So we're going to start by adding our first layer. Notice how when I'm adding yellow color, I'm shading it in the round shape of the apple. So I'm going to add some yellow in here. I'm using medium pressure. The only reason I'm not using heavy pressure is because I know that I'm going to be layering, and that'll make everything look solid. And I'm not filling in the whole apple, just sectioning a few areas where the yellow is going to shine through. Okay, we're gonna have more yellow on this side, I think, than this side. Okay? So that's what it should look like right now. Okay? So next, we are going to move on to orange. Don't forget that since this is a nice video, you can stop and go back if I'm moving a little too quickly for you. Everybody has their own pace. So now I'm doing the same exact thing with the orange. Just adding a medium pressure around where the yellow is. Some is going over the yellow, totally cool. Color this back area. Remember, keep your strokes rounded like the apple. Okay, good. Remember, we can always go back to orange or yellow later. So now we're going to use our red. So the first thing I want to do is I want to map out right here. I'm going to leave this white, the white of the paper, doesn't matter how big it is, just like as a highlight, okay? So now I'm going to start going over. Again, I'm using medium pressure. Now, I don't want to cover all of the yellow and orange, because that kind of defeats the purpose of adding it. But you will go over some of it, okay? Now, the farther away I get from this side of the apple, I'm going to start adding more pressure. So by heavy pressure over here, see how solid my red looks. Now just go ahead and use the heavy pressure to color in the whole rest of this area. Remember, the bottom is going to be darker, so we want to make sure that that has a nice heavy solid red color. Don't worry too much about blending just yet, we're going to get to that. We just want to fill in the areas. Don't forget to leave your highlight. Really miss getting to see you guys every single day. It's not like so much fun to draw by myself in my room, but we do what we gotta. Okay, so now we're gonna start blending our areas, okay? So, like over here, I want these to be a little bit more like some lines poking through. We don't want it to be quite as solid. So, light pressure, color over this. I'm going to go back then with my orange and color heavy pressure over those line areas. And you can do the same thing with your yellow if you want the yellow to stand out just a little bit more. Okay, you see the difference between that and like this area right here, how that blends in a lot more with the apple? We're going to want to do that for most of this area. Don't worry too much about this area right now, just right here, okay? So light pressure of the red over top of these areas, and then using the orange and the yellow, color heavy pressure over top of that, so it looks a lot more solid. Okay? Light with the red. And then dark with orange. And with yellow. Cool. I'm going to add more red in here so that it's a better transition from solid red over here to the orange and yellow areas. So I'm using decently light pressure to make this area more red. Just try your best, friends. We're all learning here. Cool. Light pressure up here. And you can go back in with some orange. You get heavier pressure. So now, for this highlight area, I'm going to use the white just on the edges to kind of blend out the edges, just so it's not quite so harsh of dark and then light. Just, it's really subtle, but it makes a difference. Trust me. And you can also, to add a few more highlight areas, you can just use the white and add some light lines like this. You see that? Pretty cool. So now we have our highlights, midtones, so we need our shadows. So grab some brown, and using medium to light pressure, we're going to add some shadow areas on the bottom and on the side. Then I'm going to go back to red and lightly shade over that so it's not too dark, especially on the edges of our shadow. Don't want it to be too dark. Okay, very nice, very nice. And then the farther down on the apple, the darker the shadow can be. Remember, that's our core shadow. Oh, I almost forgot to color in our stem. Don't forget to color in your stem. That could just be a solid brown. Cool. And now let's add a little bit of shading here. Not much. And let's add our cast shadow. Really dark. Something like that. Alright, and that is our apple. Now you can always go back in and add more detail, more lines of the brown and the orange. Basically, that's how I would do it. Now you can see the difference between this drawing and just going and drawing an apple like this. And calling this good. You see the difference between like the quality of that and like the quality of this? Okay, so take a picture of your apple and post it on Google Classroom for me. Thanks guys, have a wonderful day. Bye.